Yo, this is ridiculous work, what I'm saying right here. I could not believe what I was reading. Kelsey Plum traded to the Phoenix Mercury. Yo, hey, Matt Ishbia. All right, that is the owner of the Phoenix Mercury.
At around 2 a.m., NBA insider Shams Charania broke news that immediately shocked the WNBA community. Kelsey Plum, a five-time All-Star, had been traded from the Los Angeles Sparks to the Phoenix Mercury. The reaction from fans was one of genuine surprise because very few people expected a move like this. Once people looked at what Phoenix gave up in the deal, the trade became even more controversial. It didn't just catch attention, it raised serious questions about whether the Mercury's front office made the right decision. Many fans and analysts have argued that owner Matt Ishbia approved one of the most confusing moves of the season, and they believe this trade deserves a closer look. If the move does not work out as planned, it could eventually be remembered as one of the most criticized trades in recent WNBA history.
Breeze for you, big dog. I can't believe what I am seeing, man. Matt Ishbia, man, he must like a lot of salt and pepper in his food because he is pushing it with this one right here. Yo, we got to get into it. Hit the like, hit the hype, hit the noty bells so y'all know when I'm dropping. Hit the sub button. I highly appreciate it.
Let's start with the basic details of the trade because they are important. Phoenix sent Monique Billings and Suggs Sutton to Los Angeles. On their own, those moves are understandable since neither player was making a major impact for a Mercury team that was sitting in 10th place with an 11-19 record. The bigger issue is what Phoenix added to the deal. The Mercury also gave up a 2027 first-round pick and a 2028 second-round pick to acquire Kelsey Plum. That is a significant price to pay for a player who has missed most of the season, is about to become an unrestricted free agent, and recently requested a trade out of Los Angeles. From the Sparks' perspective, the trade looks much more favorable. They now have 2 first-round picks, giving them a stronger chance to rebuild through the draft. If they finish near the bottom of the standings, they could be in position to select one of the top prospects, such as Juju Watkins or Hannah Hidalgo, depending on how the draft unfolds. Meanwhile, Phoenix is counting on an injured All-Star to return, quickly adjust to a new team, and help lead the Mercury into the playoffs with only 14 games left in the regular season. That is a difficult task, which is why many people view this trade as a high-risk gamble.
I think it's a scam, man. Because the Mercury, they are 11-18 right now. All right, they're in 10th place. You need to be at least in 8th place to make it to the playoffs, right? Or to be in the playoff race. So they're out of the playoff race right now. You grab Kelsey Plum, who hasn't played majority of the season. I think she done sat out like 11 games or something like that.
Here's the reality that Phoenix has to face. Right now, the Mercury are in 10th place in the league. To qualify for the playoffs, they need to finish at least 8th. Their record is 11-19, meaning they have lost more than 60% of their games this season. With only 14 games left, they have very little time to turn things around. The plan seems to be bringing in Kelsey Plum, who has been sidelined with a reported lower leg injury, asking her to quickly learn a new system, build chemistry with teammates she has never played with, and immediately fit alongside Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner. On top of that, Phoenix would need to win enough games to pass at least 2 teams in the standings. That is a very difficult challenge and depends on almost everything going perfectly. The biggest risk is what Phoenix gave up to make this move. By trading away a valuable first-round pick, they may have reduced their chances of selecting one of the top prospects in the next draft. Many people believe the upcoming draft class is loaded with talent. Juju Watkins from USC is viewed by many as one of the most exciting prospects since Caitlin Clark, while Hannah Hidalgo from Notre Dame is also considered a potential franchise-changing player. If those expectations prove true, Phoenix may have given up the opportunity to draft a future superstar in exchange for a player who could spend only a short time with the team before becoming a free agent. That possibility is one of the biggest reasons why this trade has been questioned by many observers.
Draft a first-round pick? You gave up a first-round pick. Wow. I'm not understanding this at all, man. I'm not understanding this at all. You gave up a first-round draft pick to get a Kelsey Plum, who is also an unrestricted free agent, who I believe will leave. She will leave at the end of the season, man. Come on, dog. She left Vegas to go to Los Angeles. And then now to be
Now let's talk about the biggest question surrounding this trade. Kelsey Plum will be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. That means she can sign with any team she chooses. Because of that, many people wonder why Phoenix is so confident she will stay. Plum recently wanted out of Los Angeles, one of the biggest markets in the league. Before that, she left Las Vegas, where she won a championship and became one of the WNBA's biggest stars. Looking at her recent career, it seems she wants to play for a championship contender in a major market where she can compete at the highest level and receive plenty of attention. Phoenix is a great city with passionate fans, but it does not have the same market size or visibility as Los Angeles, Las Vegas, New York, or Chicago. That raises an important question: what is Phoenix's plan to convince Plum to stay after the season? If the Mercury do not already have a strong commitment from Plum that she plans to re-sign, then this trade becomes much riskier. Without that long-term certainty, Phoenix may have traded away a valuable first-round pick for a player who could spend only a few months with the team before leaving in free agency. From Los Angeles's perspective, the deal looks much better. If the Sparks believed Plum was going to leave anyway, they managed to turn that difficult situation into valuable draft assets. Those draft picks could help shape the franchise for many years and give the team a stronger foundation for the future.
I don't get it, man. Matt, what are you on right now? What are you on, dog? Did you really do this? Hey, man, blink twice and let us know you okay. Blink twice if you're in trouble. That's what they say. Blink twice if you are in trouble right now, man. Do you owe some money to somebody? Like, what's going on? Are they blackmailing you over there? I mean, the Sparks now have 2 first-round picks that can land them in some beautiful work. Come on, dog.
What makes this trade even harder to understand is Phoenix's current situation. The Mercury already have 2 aging superstars in Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner. Taurasi is 42 years old, a basketball legend and a future first-ballot Hall of Famer, but she is clearly near the end of her career. Griner is 33 and still an elite player, but she has also gone through major challenges over the past few years, making her long-term future less certain. Because of that, Phoenix should be preparing for the next era of the franchise. The team should be collecting draft picks, developing young players, and creating a plan that keeps them competitive over the next several years. Instead, they appear to be going all in on a playoff push that has a relatively small chance of succeeding. Even if Kelsey Plum returns fully healthy, fits perfectly with the team, and develops great chemistry right away, Phoenix would still likely need to win around 10 of its final 14 games to have a realistic chance of making the playoffs. That would require a winning percentage of about 71%. The problem is that the Mercury have been winning only about 37% of their games so far. Expecting them to suddenly play at nearly double that level over the final stretch is a huge gamble. When you compare the numbers, the plan becomes difficult to justify. Instead of looking like a carefully planned strategy, it appears more like a desperate attempt to save the season than a realistic path to long-term success.
They want her going to Seattle. They want her to stay right there in LA. I see what's going on, man. I'm on to you. I don't know, but it just seemed like a play to get Juju to stay in LA. Hey, I'm rapping this morning, man. If they like it, I love it, I guess, man. I don't think y'all winning anything with this, honestly. I don't think y'all are going anywhere. I don't think y'all making the playoffs this season. If y'all make the playoffs, hey, I would get back on here and
To understand this trade better, it helps to look at what successful teams usually do in this situation. When a team is out of playoff contention and its veteran core is getting older, there are generally 2 smart options. The first is to start rebuilding by trading veteran players for draft picks and young talent. That gives the team a better chance to earn a high draft pick and build for the future. The second option is to keep the current roster together, accept that the season is likely over, and use the remaining games to evaluate young players and improve the system for next season. What teams usually avoid is sacrificing their future just to make a small improvement in the present. That approach rarely pays off in the long run. The Dallas Wings followed a smarter strategy when they realized they were no longer serious championship contenders. They traded Satu Sabali before she could leave in free agency and received valuable assets in return. The Washington Mystics have spent years collecting draft picks, putting themselves in a strong position to build around a young core. Even the Las Vegas Aces focused on drafting and developing talent before making aggressive win-now moves. Those teams built a strong foundation first and then added the final pieces later. Phoenix appears to be doing the opposite. Instead of building from the ground up, they seem to be trying to put the roof on before the foundation is fully in place.
Y'all do make it. I give y'all props on here, but man, this had me rolling. I was in tears waking up. I said, wait a minute, did they just give up draft capital for a Kelsey Plum who might not even stay? Like, dog, this had me laughing, man. Whatever they're smoking over there, man, hey, pass it, man. Y'all must be feeling good. Y'all got to be feeling good. This is
There is
crazy.
also a conspiracy theory making the rounds that some fans think explains why the Sparks agreed to this trade. The theory is that the league wants to keep Juju Watkins in Los Angeles. Here's why people are saying that. The Sparks are sitting at 10-17 and are in a strong position to earn a top 3 draft pick. They also own Phoenix's draft pick. If Los Angeles struggles for the rest of the season, they could finish with 2 very valuable first-round selections. The projected number 1 pick is Juju Watkins, who plays at USC in Los Angeles and already has a huge fan base in Southern California. From a marketing standpoint, the story would be easy to sell. A hometown superstar joins the Sparks, helps revive the franchise, boosts ticket sales, and creates national attention. After the excitement generated by Caitlin Clark's rookie season, many people believe the WNBA would benefit from another major star entering the league with a strong local connection. Because of that, some fans have wondered whether the league quietly influenced this trade or encouraged Phoenix to make a deal that would improve the Sparks' draft position. However, there is no public evidence that this happened. It remains only a fan theory. While the timing and circumstances may seem to fit together, that alone does not prove that the league played any role in the trade.
It looked like you were going to make the playoffs. You should have just tanked at this point. Tank and see what you can get out of the draft next year. I mean, you don't let the Sparks beat you to it now. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the matchup today. I will be live with the Indiana Fever and the Minnesota Lynx. Hey, I need Caitlin going crazy in this game. All right, I need the Indiana Fever to shut Olivia
Let's look
down.
at this from Phoenix's point of view for a moment, because maybe I'm being too critical. It's possible there's a strategy behind this move that I'm missing. The best-case scenario for the Mercury is fairly easy to understand. Kelsey Plum is a proven star who averaged more than 18 points per game last season. She is a clutch shooter, a championship winner, and she fills a major need at the guard position. If she returns healthy and motivated, she could be the player who takes Phoenix's offense to another level. With Diana Taurasi's playmaking, Brittany Griner's presence in the paint, and Plum's scoring ability, the Mercury could have a strong Big Three capable of challenging any team in a playoff series. There is also the possibility that Phoenix knows something the public doesn't. Maybe the team already has a verbal understanding with Plum that she plans to re-sign after the season. Perhaps they have already discussed a long-term contract that would make this much more than a short-term rental. It's also possible that owner Matt Ishbia, who has shown with the Phoenix Suns that he is willing to spend aggressively, has promised Plum a maximum contract and a plan to build the team around her and Brittany Griner once Diana Taurasi retires. If that is true, then giving up a 2027 first-round pick may not seem as risky. In that situation, Phoenix would essentially be trading a future draft pick for a star who is still in her prime and could lead the franchise for the next 5 years.
I need to see it. Caitlin, get out there, pull that belt out, and go to work. All right, go to work, lay the law down on them, man. I need Kelsey going crazy. I need Sophie going crazy. I need that defense from Lexi. AB, I need you always balling. Come on, man. I need the Indiana Fever to dominate today. 1 o'clock, man. Make sure y'all there on time. I might show like an early game or something just to kind of get y'all in there, just to start the party early. We can have an early conversation in the chat. But 1 o'clock, man. Make sure you're there on time. All right. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this move right here. I think it's a fleece, man. I think Matt got scammed.
Here's why I don't believe that optimistic outcome. First, if Phoenix already had a long-term commitment from Kelsey Plum, they probably would have made it public. They likely would have held a press conference with Plum talking about how excited she was to join the team and how she planned to stay in Phoenix for years. The fact that nothing like that has happened raises questions. Second, Plum's career suggests she wants to compete for championships right away, not be part of a rebuilding or retooling team. She wants to win now, and she also prefers playing in a major market. Phoenix may be able to offer one of those things, but it is difficult to offer both. Third, even if Plum decides to stay, Phoenix would still be building around a core of Plum and Brittany Griner without the draft picks needed to bring in young talent. In the best-case scenario, that group might reach the second round of the playoffs. But that would require almost everything to go perfectly. The more I look at this trade, the more it seems like a panic move by an owner who is used to the NBA, where teams can often solve problems by spending more money through large contracts and luxury tax payments. The WNBA works very differently. The salary cap is much stricter, roster spots are limited, and teams cannot simply outspend everyone else. To succeed in the WNBA, teams have to make smart decisions. They need to build through the draft, develop young players, and protect valuable first-round picks. Those picks should only be traded when a team is truly one player away from winning a championship. Phoenix does not appear to be in that position. They still need several more key players, yet they traded away one of the biggest assets they could have used to acquire that talent.
Early game or something just to kind of get y'all in there, just to start the party early. We can have an early conversation in the chat. But 1 o'clock, man, make sure you're there on time. All right. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this move right here. I think it's a fleece, man. I think Matt got
So
scammed,
here's
dog.
what I think will happen. Phoenix will probably make a decent run over the last 14 games. Kelsey Plum will return, play well, and help the team win around 7 or 8 games. That still won't be enough to reach the playoffs, but it will move Phoenix out of the bottom 3 in the standings. As a result, they won't get a high draft pick with their own selection. They'll likely finish 9th or 10th, miss the playoffs, and then Plum could leave in free agency to join a stronger championship contender. Plum has several possible destinations. She could sign with New York, Connecticut, or even return to Las Vegas if they have enough salary cap space. But it seems unlikely that she stays in Phoenix. If she leaves, the Mercury could be left with an aging roster, no valuable draft picks to rebuild with, and too many role players who aren't good enough to compete for a championship. At the same time, the Sparks could be in a much better position. They might end up with 2 lottery picks, plenty of salary cap flexibility, and the chance to build around a young star. If they draft Juju Watkins, they could quickly become one of the most exciting young teams in the league. The same could happen if they land Hannah Hidalgo. Either way, Los Angeles would be set up for long-term success, while Phoenix could remain stuck in the middle. That is the difference between careful planning and emotional decision-making. One approach builds a team for years, while the other focuses only on short-term success. To be fair, Matt Ishbia deserves some credit. As a new owner, he has shown that he wants to invest in his teams and isn't afraid to make big moves. Every fan wants an owner who cares about winning. However, there is a big difference between making a bold move and making a reckless one. There is also a difference between being aggressive and acting out of desperation, and this trade feels more desperate than smart. The WNBA is growing faster than many people expected. Caitlin Clark's rookie season brought record TV ratings, attendance, and merchandise sales. The league is becoming more popular and financially stronger. This should be the time for teams to think about long-term success so they can benefit from that growth. Instead, Phoenix seems to have risked its future on what could be only a 3-month experiment. Even if this move works out better than expected, even if Plum stays, Phoenix becomes a contender, and they win a championship in a couple of years, the Mercury still may have paid too much. The Sparks wanted to trade Plum because she requested a move, and everyone knew she wanted out. That meant Los Angeles had very little bargaining power. Phoenix probably could have completed the deal by giving up only players and a second-round pick, but instead they also included a first-round pick. That looks like poor negotiating because they gave away more value than they needed to. The biggest concern is that 2027 first-round pick. 3 years from now, Diana Taurasi will likely be retired. Brittany Griner will be 36 years old. If Plum is still with Phoenix, she will be 32. That draft pick could easily become a top 5 selection. It could turn into the next superstar, someone who changes a franchise for the next decade. Instead, Phoenix traded away that opportunity for a player who may not even stay with the team. That is why so many people have a hard time defending this trade. This trade also affects the league as a whole because it sends the wrong message about the value of draft picks. In the NBA, first-round picks are treated as extremely valuable assets. Teams protect them and only trade them when they are confident they are getting equal value in return. In the WNBA, however, we continue to see teams giving up first-round picks too easily. This is not the first questionable trade involving draft picks, and it probably will not be the last. WNBA draft picks are especially valuable because the league has fewer roster spots and the top talent is concentrated at the top of the draft. There is a huge difference between getting a top 5 pick and selecting later in the first round. There is also a major gap between a first-round pick and a second-round pick. A first-round selection could become an all-star, while a second-round pick might not even make the final roster. When Phoenix trades away a first-round pick for a player who could leave soon, they are not only hurting themselves but also adding to the idea that draft picks are less valuable than they really are. The most successful teams in the WNBA have usually built through the draft. Las Vegas developed stars like Aya Wilson, Kelsey Plum, and Jackie Young. Seattle built around players such as Breanna Stewart, Jewel Lloyd, and Sue Bird. Connecticut has remained competitive for years by drafting well and developing young talent. Teams that try to skip the rebuilding process by trading away draft picks for veteran players rarely win championships. Instead, they often end up in the middle of the standings, not bad enough to get top draft picks but not good enough to compete for a title. That is the situation Phoenix could be heading toward. There is also another important side of this trade that has not received enough attention. What it means for the rest of the league could become just as significant as what it means for Phoenix and Los Angeles.